Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy here, the Hood Motivator. Yes, Dr. JayR McIntyre. And we here at the Motivators Table Podcast Season 5. And we have an awesome guest today. Yes, awesome guest. Get your highlighters, get your pens ready. This young man is going to drop some jewels. He's going to tell you everything he has going on this year. And he's going to let you know how he inspired me. Hey, thank you to Los Angeles Tribune for giving me the spotlight. Thank you to Riverside Platform for allowing me to put my rhetoric out there. And thank you to all the sponsors. But get your highlighters and pens ready. I want you to bring the motivator to the table, Mr. William Rickard. How you doing, brother? How's everything?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good, brother, man. Let's tell the world. Let's get right into it. Let's tell the world who you are and where you come from.
All right. Well, everybody, I am born and raised in Tampa, Florida, but I was raised in Riverview, which is technically in the Tampa Bay area. Grow there. I've been there all my life, and then I started my writing journey when I was 10 years old, and even poetry when I was 13 years old by my adopted mother. And let me retract that. I was adopted by the age of 7. And that we can definitely talk about, later on the show. But I've been writing, I've been in this journey as a sci-fi self-published author since last year. I have published 3 books, my novel, children's book, and teenage book, and I'm excited to share all you guys about myself and more about me.
Man, I love that, man. I appreciate you just, coming on my platform, and I'm inspired by everything you got going on in the community. We're gonna get right back into it. So let's talk about your inner childhood. Let's talk about how you grew up as a foster kid. Let's talk about that.
Ah, so it all started when I was born at Tampa Bay at Tampa General Hospital in Tampa. And of course, I was 3 months premature. I was supposed to been born in December, but I was born in September. And the doctors thought that I wasn't going to make it. So out of 20 minutes of not breathing, I was brought back to life. And of course, my mom had some mental issues. And then my biological father was a traveling pastor, as far as I know. My parents used to travel a lot in the country from Tennessee, Texas, and more. And as far as growing up into the foster care system, it was I would say it was one of the unique experiences that I had in my life. I didn't really knew that I was in foster care per se, but I knew from going from not only from eventually would have been my adopted parents who would finally raise me, but also other foster homes in Tampa. So I met, different families, different kids growing up, and it just trying to see what would be a good fit for myself, including my brother and sister who were also adopted as well. But both of them were adopted by my real mother's brother and his wife. And my brother, he still lives in California, and my sister, she currently lives in El Paso, Texas, with her 2 kids. So growing up, through the foster care system, my parents had to go through court, legal proceedings, and everything. And then eventually they got a chance to adopt me, and even just trying to find my identity, purpose, and trying to know more about my heritage growing up, because I didn't really know much about it. So doing a lot of research over the years, and then trying to navigate that as well. And then yeah, so now I'm here to this day.
Man, I love that. I love how you broke that down and everything like that. And motivators, if you don't got your highlighters and pens ready, I want you to understand why we bring these people on the platform to tell a story, but also inspire us. And this is an inspiring story. You guys should stay tuned. And thank you for just telling that story. It's crazy. It's two things that just resonated with me. That I'm from California. and my kids were born in El Paso, my youngest kids. So that's crazy. El Paso, Texas too. So
Yep.
we got some things in common. You know what I'm saying? Oh, three things. We both authors. So, I appreciate you for just, what I'm saying, throwing that out there and everything like that. So let's talk about, your inner child. Um, let's talk about how you felt growing up as a foster kid, if you want to touch on that.
Yeah. Oh, during my childhood, I would question as far as about my parents, as far as why this happened, and trying to figure out, the questions and answers with that. And of course, I kept in touch with my biological family, my siblings, and even my aunt and uncle over the years. So they kept me up to date as far as what happened, during that time with my parents, and why it happened, the way that it happened. And at no fault over the years, I will always question as far as where were they, how can we find them. I have answers, questions, going through my mind into that. And then even just, if I did get a chance to speak to him, like what happened then, what were the circumstances, and even when I got a chance to meet my real mother for the first time, about 8 years ago, it was a, different experience to finally get to meet her. But even through my childhood, I just been, you know, looking for questions, answers about who I am as a person, my family background. And I realized that, most of my family are from Memphis, Tennessee. And so I was able to, try to connect with them from time to time, from over there, and then just try to, navigate, who I am as a person, even though I did not really fit in while I was in school, even when I was with my adopted parents because of the different skin complexion. So it was like, trying to navigate the, you know, uh, how can I say, the different cultures and traditions and different families into that.
I love how you broke that down, and pay attention, motivators. People's lives is not easy. And when I met William out in the networking field, and he was telling me about his books and stuff like that, I didn't know these stories. So when I bring my people on the motivators table, we have a casual conversation. I wait to talk to them because I'm inspired. I see how he moved. I see how he went through the crowd. I see how he spoke to everybody. I see how respectable he was. I see how he was talking about his books. I see what who he networked with, and he's a very special person. And sometimes don't judge a book by its cover. This guy right here is really intelligent. If you pay attention to what he's doing, he's going to tell you about his sci-fi books and things that he's doing in the community. But I wanted to make sure that we talk about his childhood, because right now a lot of people, they meet us where we are but don't know what we've been through. And I want to make sure that we understand, we know, we're listening what he's been through, and I want you guys to understand that too. So William, hey, let's check it out. Let's talk about like your experiences growing up in Florida.
Ah, so how can I begin? Um, like growing up in Riverview, it's like a different, time period, now, because it used to be, rural. There wasn't really, a lot of subdevelopments and businesses, restaurants and everything. So seeing it to this day is mind blowing of itself, how much it has changed over the years. And then it was, cool childhood, I would say, even though I didn't have, much of everything in my childhood. And my parents provide the best way that they could have, even though we used to live, in a mobile home. And even with the peace and serenity in my neighborhood was great, but also the systemic racism that was also placed over there as well, because there wasn't, a lot of Black people in Tropical Acres in Riverview. Um, Now I seeing it as far it has changed. And I used to be picked on, growing up, the way that I talk, my speech impairment, even had to go speech therapy through, um, all the way through elementary school to all the way through high school. So kids used to pick on me on that. Even some of my neighbors did not respect me because of my skin complexion and how my parents were raising me. And it was just, dealing with those. Um, Issues growing up, like going to school on the school bus, there would be, us, and I would talk to anybody basically, chill, laid back, quiet, didn't bother anybody, and I would just, help anybody who needed help, and I would share my creativity, have fun, no matter how hard it was. But my parents always loved me the way that they should, and that's what mattered the most to me, the values and what the advice that they taught me, even though all the hatred that was going on, even outside the home, even when people would see us in restaurants and then the uh, amusement parks and everything, they would see that I, didn't, belong, and question the fact, like, those your grandparents, or yeah, yeah, yeah. But I always, loved them dearly, and they provided the best way that they could in my childhood. And my book is a dedication, to them, even though they're not here and they're in heaven. But this is the legacy that they have shown me, and that's why I wrote it.
Someone said, "How did you end up in Florida?" I think he's explaining how he ended up here. So you want to retell him how you ended up? I don't know if you know that person, but he asked you that.
Well, I was born and raised in Florida. But my mom, she was born in Memphis, Tennessee. My dad, as far as I know, possibly he was born in Alabama. So they met in Houston, as far as I know. But so my parents had my let me backtrack. My oldest brother, he lives in Houston, Texas. And then there's my second oldest brother. He was born in North Carolina. And then my sister, she's a year older than me. She was born in Orlando, and then eventually they came down to Tampa, and I was born in Tampa. Yeah,
And that answers your question. I thought you had already explained that, but someone wanted, you got a lot of fans, so they tapping in right now, and what I'm saying,
yeah.
it might be delayed, but that's about it. But we appreciate you. Thank you for telling your story and going from there. So let's talk about how you was as a child in school. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear you talk about sci-fi, you write books. Was you always that artistic?
Yes, I was. My mom inspired me with poetry when I was 13, and she used to write a lot of poems, growing up, but she never got a chance to publish them. So I got her poems and a collection of my poems that I wrote in high school, even in college when I was attending ACC. Hillsborough Community College, and then I transitioned to University of South Florida, and I took creative writing classes in order to enhance my poetry and continue with my short stories, along the way. But I started my sci-fi novel in my sophomore year in high school, and that's when it was under a different title, different, trajectory path that I was going, but it did not resonate with me at that time. But I kept on writing, kept on being consistent of it, and like anybody would tell you, through my elementary, middle school, and high school years, they would say that I was, quiet, laid back, helpful, supportive. You wouldn't expect me to go out of character as far as with my personality, unless there was something that was really bothering me, like if someone was agitating me for no apparent reason to get me out of my character like that. but usually I'm reserved, calm, and definitely help out with anybody that needed help with anything. And yeah, sometimes I would we write a little bit of music here and there, and just try to do like different things with my writing growing up. And yeah, just continuing with what I've been doing now has been definitely beneficial for me.
Definitely, and that's interesting just to hear your walk up from elementary to middle school to high school, laid back. You're definitely the same type of person, real laid back, but real keen. Want to know information. You out there, and I appreciate you for just putting your foot forward right now as an entrepreneur and being out there doing what you have to do. It's tricky out there in the business world. It's tricky out there in the entrepreneurship world, and even networking. Sometimes it's wrong to network with the wrong person, and sometimes it's right to, what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, make sure you understand. And I see you getting in these rooms, and I'm so proud of you, man. Let's talk about the sci-fi world in your mind and what you got going on.
Ah, so I actually have a few of my books here. If you, well, I don't mind showing as far as
Yeah,
what I have created as well.
definitely.
But this sci-fi world that I created stemmed from my childhood. I wanted something to resonate not only in the Marvel aspect, but also based on what I've been through, and like I've been writing who I've been, and through my short stories over the years. I wanted to create it in a superhero aspect where it can be massive, where it can also be in between Black History, for instance, and then even diving into um, in Africa and other different countries that I incorporated into it. So it all started with my childhood, then diving into my heritage, which I finally did the ancestry DNA, and Benin, Cameroon, and other ethnicities here and there, and that projected me into writing my novel. Even though I was writing research, throughout the years, trying to get everything, together in that way. So I found all my places that I wanted. Where I wanted the book to be at, and then also created this hidden world, Al Canoe, meaning Emerald City, where it's just a fictional world based in Africa, where there's three fractions that are different, unique, fun, mysterious. It's just they have their own laws, and you could be anything you can be. And it also has a representation of us, not just only us, but also other minorities and other ethnic groups. Where I want everyone to shine. So I'm gonna be, a part, of the series as well. But I also incorporate some historical figures, some of my work colleagues that actually have became character illustrations of how they want to look like, and but they didn't know as far as how the story was going to go, because that I thought in my mind as far as have the past, the present, and the future aligned together, and then also create this world where there's different layers that comes out of it.
I love that. I love how you broke that down. And, that's crazy because, your mind is working really fast and sci-fi is, you got to have a hell of imagination to understand the sci-fi industry. And I remember, I think my first, I want to say, I'm not going to backdate it. I'll be 45 in July, but my first real sci-fi movie I think I saw was The Matrix in
Mhm.
99. You know,
Yep.
um, it was so cool because I didn't see a movie. I saw technology. I saw algorithm. I saw data. I saw um, viruses. I saw people was watching a movie and the fight scene, and I'm watching the computer system. And people was like, "How did you get that out of that?" And now you fast forward that 30 years later, it's talking about exactly what I'm saying now. But as a kid, I was very articulate in how to understand, just like you, and compute information and say, you know what? I was seeing behind the real picture. You know what I'm saying? So tell us inside of your mind. Let's get inside of your mind as William Ricker the Great. Like understand. Let's see what's going on inside that mind of yours.
Ah, so it has, work overtime basically, but it has when I first started writing it, I was having, writer's block from time to time, and then being discouraged, and then trying to go back to it, and then just left it alone for a while. But then once I kept on doing research from time to time and going back and forth, not last year, but the year before, I started to, you know, one day I was just writing every single day. When I woke up, when I at work, after work, and before I went to bed, it was like it was constantly playing in my mind like a movie of what the characters would be. And even the characters were developing over time as I was working, as I've been working at my current job, asking my work colleagues as far as how they wanted their characters to look like, and what fractions and suit colors and technology, and they didn't, know as far that there was other abilities that are enhancing the suit, like pulse energetic, that pulse enhance abilities, even emeralds embedding in the suits, emeralds embedding on the bracelets. There's scrolls, there's the emerald staffs, and there's a lot that goes, with it. And I was creating that, in my mind a lot as far as how I wanted the suit to look like, and make it, representation for everyone. So some of the work colleagues picked like one color, some picked two colors, and even what they wanted for their suits as well. So it was able to have that collaboration with them, and for them to be, part of the process for it. And then I just kept on. Okay, let me just figure out, okay, where do I want it to start? Okay, let's start in Benin. Let's start with the two characters in Benin. Let's them discover the mysterious oak tree in Benin, where it's the portal to Al Canoe, and let that be the precursor for the story, and then have the other characters come out over time, and let it be more of, you've seen, Marvel and the Avengers and DC movies as well. So I wanted to create a cast of us, and then just get all the locations down, get the hero, get all the fractions all together, and then find the purpose for each character, because the purpose of this is origins, and the meaning of it, that each character, even though there's 40 characters, each character has its own personal story. And some of the characters trying to find their identity, some of the characters are trying to find who their parents are, some of the characters are trying to find um, what are they going to achieve out of life? So those are the questions that these characters are questioning. And then over time, when they find out that Theodore, one of the villains in the series, he's trying to reshape reality and trying to destroy it, even with slavery, even with trying to get back to where it used to be. Because this started like in the 1920s, 1930s in my book, and it starts with, what happens during that time, but we have the power to, continue on in the storyline, where there's a lot of, different surprises that come with it.
I had one of your fans. He put on here. How do you keep up with your ideas, especially when you're at work or away from writing? So he is fit petition, and he put that right there.
Ah, okay. With me, it's like I I just let it flow naturally. And when it flows naturally, then I'll write it down and make and put on a piece of paper, laptop, anything, and then I can go back with it and think, how can I make this better? And two, can I do more, with it? And with what I have currently in book one, there's so many possibilities that you can go with not just only my main characters, Kavan and Vincissa, because this is their love story in the series, but even with the other characters, they have so many layers and and so much history that comes out of it that they can have their own, book in the series as well of what they went through, what their power is, how they became, to this point and what the result, for it. And even currently, I'm working on my, sequel right now, and I found, different ways uh, to continue with the story plot. Cause I already written most of it for the sequel and for the third book, with the chapters for the first book, cause it was already long as it is. So I add more things that are different, that's human, unique. You did not really, expect how it's going to turn out, and just find a way to keep the story interesting in that capacity.
Okay, I like that. See, he answered your question, hopefully, but I'm over here taking notes. I'm just listening, man. You're so intelligent. You're so bright. Just I'm in the I'm doing my cartoon right now. It's called Little Hood Motivators, and every kid has a disability, but that disability is a superpower. So I'm doing a little cartoon series right now. But I'm just listening to yours, man, and I'm excited because I can't wait to see it. You got another question right here, another chat. Oh, he said that's fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of your fans. That's fire. But you know, let's talk about after the sequel. So what just prompts you to just write all these things that comes into your head? Like, what prompts you? What do you be thinking about? How do you meditate? Do you pray? Like, how do these things come to fruition?
Usually every morning I read my daily scripture and pray to God, and then I do like 5 minutes of silence, and then I continue my day and think positive and reflect, my personality to others so that they can have, a better day if they are feeling, frustrated or sad. And I wanted to bring that energy on on their on their lives as well while I'm at work and while I'm outside work, because bringing that positivity brings so much joy. And even when I'm writing and even when I'm taking, my mental breaks with writing, I say, I got this. I did great with my first book. Now I'm continuing on with my second book. And this doesn't stop in 3 books. I already planned out how many books it's going to be, which I already have the ending, already have the characters, everything, which I have room for more characters through the series until it gets to, my character in the series when we get to it. But I just continue uh, doing my daily regimen in the morning and even at night, and thank God that I'm here another day. Because even over, let's say I'm going to be 34 this year, but 34 years ago, I was basically, dead for 20 minutes, and God brought me back to life and gave me the opportunity to live, to be around all my loved ones, and got a chance to meet my biological mother and be around my adopted parents growing up, and just being around people that I have met along the way that have loved my ideas, that have supported me in my journey. It continues to motivate me of what I'm doing in my books by keep on writing, jotting down different ideas, and making sure that our younger kids can be excited uh, for for reading, and then just continue on with that creativity as well.
I love that. And shout out to your adopted parents for just putting that battery in your back and allowing you to be creative. Sometimes it's hard, not having our parents in our life, but sometimes God understands and knows. He knows always what we need, and you needed your 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 adopted parents to just stand in a gap and be there for you and usher you through these. That's a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Being away from your parents, losing your parents, and not understanding what's going on. I remember when I lost my mother. I didn't understand what was going on. I was 9 or 10 years old, and just navigating through that, it was hard. You know what I'm saying? And then my dad, he did the best he can to get us to this moment that I'm at right now. But, we see people and we don't know their story. That's why I wanted people to know your story, and you come on and you tell your story and you be comfortable with it, because at the end of the day, God see you, I see you. You're doing a lot of special things right now, and you're so smart. And I wanted to give you your flowers. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, um, anything you want to leave my audience with?
Ah, Ooh, I would say keep on. I would say keep on going no matter how hard it gets. I went through so many things in my life that, like losing my parents and not really not even being raised with my biological family. And there's a lot of people that are fortunate to have the opportunity to be around their parents and be around their family. And what I will say is, cherish your loved ones and be there for them every step of the way. And then even if you ever want to do something that you love, whether it's writing, like you and I, and even other things that you want to do in your spare time where you don't really have much time to do, since I work a 9 to 5 job and I balance, what I've been doing with my sci-fi book, doing events in St. Pete and Tampa. If I can do it, everyone can do it as well. It just takes being consistent, determined, and not be discouraged on what your path will be. But God will know what your journey will be at the end.
Yes, I love that, man. Do me a favor and let's leave the audience with all your social medias, how to find you. Let's tell them about your books. Tell everything about yourself in that next couple of minutes. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you the floor.
All right. So you can check me in all my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Wim Ricker is Ricker. And you can check all my books on Amazon. The Reshift Pulse Saga Origins is on Kindle, hardcover, and paperback, including my teenage comic book and my children's book. They're both on Amazon as well, in all formats. And then if you want to follow in my sci-fi journey, I have YouTube as well. I post, every month or every week as I could once I have, events in Tampa and St. Pete. And yeah, you just follow in my journey and I will share more, surprises this year when my sequel comes out in the late fall as well. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I just had to take a quick little pause. I was trying to address your fans that was in the crowd and everything like that. They wanted to know a little bit about me. I was just giving them my website and stuff like that, and let them know they could go check that out on there. This is your time to have your platform and everything like that. So, to everybody that wants to know about me. If you don't know me, if you're coming through Williams' platform, you can Google me, you can go through my website. But at the motivators table, when I bring people on, it's all about them. I will periodically tell my story in little pieces like that. But these flowers are all about William, and we thank you for coming on, man. And tell me, we're gonna give the floor to you one more time. Anything else that you want us to know, that you want the world to know, because this is going out to millions of viewers and followers and stuff like that. So I want you to have the opportunity just to tell everything that you got going on and stuff like that, and what's new in your life too.
So, next month I will be attending the James Johnson Literacy Festival on March 21st. I will be attending there. I'll be wearing my costume for the kids, and that'll be like 10 a.m. To 2 p.m. This will be in St. Pete, right next to the Enoch Davis Center. I will be attending another event in April 11th. It's the African Arts in the Park, and that's like I think 11:30 to 9:30, and that would be I would say at Perry Perry Park. I'll have to share the details later on that, but you can also find that on my social media platforms as well. And as I'm continuing, writing my sequel as it comes out in late fall, expect, the unexpected. I can't really say much about it. So if you haven't got a chance to read the first book, get it now, because with the sequel, it's going to be a whole bunch of surprises that come with it. And then with the additional 18 books that would come after that, for the entire series. Expect a great journey as far as what I'm going to give to all of you.
I love that. Thank you for just, bringing us up to speed and everything like that. And thank you for coming on my platform. And this is the period of time where I pour back into you. You know what I'm saying? So I want you to make sure that, you know why you're doing what you're doing and why you come on here. So what I do on all my episodes is, hold up an empty cup, hold a cup up in your hand, empty cup, hold your hand up, pour that cup out. I don't want nothing in that cup. And I want to tell you right now that you're special and I'm proud of you. And you've been fighting since you was a little boy. Do not stop. I know sometimes you feel like you're not seen. I know sometimes you feel like you're not heard, but I see you and I hear you. And all the motivators on this side, we're cheering you on and we're rooting for you. And thank you for just taking that step, just introducing yourself to me and meeting me. And then I'm turning around and I'm inspired by everything that you got going on, all the books, all the talks, all the networking engagements. Keep going. Do not stop. We love you over here. We proud of you. And I know sometimes that nobody tells you that because you sometimes you feel like you overlooked. Not over here. We're not doing none of that. We're gonna make sure that you understand who you are. We're gonna put that battery in your back and we're gonna make sure that we understand that, hey, you know what? This is who you are. You are dynamic. You are exactly who God wants you to be, and don't stop. And we appreciate you here at the Motivators Table, coming from Dr. McIntyre, the Hood Motivator. Thank you for everything. Keep smiling. Do not stop. It's going to keep putting your books out there. Keep pushing forward, one step at a time. It's consistency. You don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the fastest, the smartest, the tallest. Just stay consistent. And that's what you've been doing. And we appreciate you over here. And thank you. And we love you. Hey, motivators, I told you we was going to bring a good hit. I told you I had a surprise for you. I don't usually film at nighttime, but I couldn't wait to sit down and film William and make sure that we tell his story the way he wants to tell his story. This is the reason why we have the Motivators Table. This is the reason why I started podcasting. It's not for likes, not for clicks, not for the algorithm. This is for your algorithm of your life, William. You are in charge of that. You are the matrix you're the neo of your own matrix, and stand in it. Stand in it and make sure you understand that, hey, without you, that doesn't work. This right here. So make sure you understand, and you have one of the most brilliant minds I have ever saw. So I appreciate you, and I've been around the world, man. I've been around the world, and I'm seeing all these things, and we appreciate you. We want to make sure that we congratulate you here on this platform, and all your family, all your friends, everybody that know this man, even his foster parents. Man, y'all did a hell of a job. Everybody his brothers, his sisters. Hey, this guy is amazing. Stand behind him, hear his story. Do not judge a book by its cover. This is what it is. We ain't tolerating none of that stuff over here. We want to make sure we understand that we love on one another. It's easy to hate, but it's
Mhm.
hard to stay true. And right here, we're gonna make sure we do what we got to do. So we appreciate you, William. We thank you so much, man. And that shirt you got on, that is that a tree of life? That's fire right there. I
Yeah,
see
this is my book merch that I created as well.
you making a
Yes,
statement.
yes, huh?
You making a statement. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the book logo for my book, and it's the Tree of Life, all the three fractions RSP with the stars. And the back of it has my fictional character, and I'll leave this as well. On the back of it, it shows a pulse, shift, and revolt your life because you own your own destiny, and I want everyone to drive on their dreams and continue that path as well.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Hey, real quick before we get off the air, I know you excited for that new Avengers that's coming out. I know you are. I know you
Yep.
got all the tips and all the clues and Easter eggs like that, man. So maybe when it come out, I might have to scoop you up so we can go see that because I'm a big nerd too at that too. Yes. Yeah, I come that just keep me accountable. Say, hey, remember you told me we're gonna watch Avengers together.
Yep.
And keep me accountable, man. I love you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the Motivators Table. I told you, Motivators, season 5. Hey, we loading up. This is what we do. Hey, thank you guys for allowing me to come to you on my platform. I can't wait to see you next episode. Boom.
God has you in this room for a specific reason and a specific time. And the reason why we're doing that is shifting. And we're catching the vision, right? Are we catching the vision? Now I'm about to activate your gift.
Welcome to Seven Eagle Academy, your proven skill bridge pathway to a career you'll love. Every day, join hundreds of fellow vets on live Zoom sessions to learn directly from hiring managers, industry experts, and executives looking for top military talent. We'll help you master your resume, networking, and interviews to connect you with careers in tech, healthcare, aviation, sports, and more. This is your tribe, your support system, your advantage. It's free, it's proven, it's life-changing. Your next mission starts now at www.7eagle.com.